Well, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Friday morning. Thomas Montgomery here. It's October 15th, 2021 at 7:59 a.m. Central. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time. It's an opportunity for us to train, to support, to share strategies, techniques, success stories. And today we're going to go through just, I guess you'd say, a case study. We're going to go through a real case study of a real client and a real white label partner and the simple steps to create value for the client and put adult money in your pocket. So let's go ahead and get started. You should see my screen shared here on the left. I'll scroll down as we go. I want to keep it large to make sure we can all see where we're at. So what is our topic today? We're going to go through step-by-step client process leading up to a first tranche financing of $30,000. So the term FTF, or first tranche financing, means that first round of capital that we wish to get clients soon after they enroll. In fact, we can get any client first tranche financing, no matter how bad their credit is or how weak their income is. There's different sources of first tranche financing. Each have their own underwriting criteria, but there is financing available for every client regardless of their circumstances. So that's very encouraging. That's a very powerful element that you and I have, an arrow in our quiver, that when we're out talking to prospective clients or referral sources to get more clients, we have a credible, legitimate program. We guarantee a minimum of $100,000 capital raise. There's no cost to enroll, and we'll be able to get the first tranche of financing for all clients within the first 30 days, often within the first 7 days. Okay, so you might say, well, why, or you might ask, why is first tranche financing important? Because I've had it asked to me a few times, well, why don't we just skip that first tranche? Why don't we just wait? Well, most clients don't want to wait. Most clients want their first round of funding as soon as possible, number one. And number two, you deserve to be paid. And I know a lot of you are very financially successful, so an extra $2,500 probably doesn't matter to you. But there's a lot of people that need extra income to be able to stick with this and use this as a side gig. And I'll show you how Bernard, the white label partner here, generated $6,500 off one client very quickly. And this is not the only client that got funded this past week of Bernard's. But regardless, first tranche financing is important for several reasons. Number one, it gets you paid. And this isn't about taking advantage of someone else. It's creating a deal. What's one of the hottest industries right now? Real estate. Do you think real estate agents get paid for conducting transactions? Of course they do. Is there something wrong with that when they're coordinating between the buyers and sellers to facilitate those transactions? Of course not. It creates value to the client. What you do as a white label partner is infinitely important. You're helping move small business owners that may be pre-launch startup or existing to fundability. It's huge. It's important. And you deserve to be paid. You deserve to be paid a lot of money for the value that you're creating. And I'll show you how that works in a second. The second benefit or reason that the first tranche financing is important is because we want to create an opportunity for the client to pay for their refundable deposit, typically $2,500. The example I show you today won't match with that because this white label partner charges $3,500, not $2,500. Each white label partner can set their own rate. But the point specifically is we want to create the first tranche of financing quickly so the client gets funding and then they can pay you the refundable deposit so we can get after building the loan package. Now, today's topic is not about why loan packages are important, but let's just go ahead and cover it briefly. Why is a loan package important? Because you're not going to go get a large business loan if you don't have a lender compliant loan package. Things like a business plan, financial forecast, balance sheet, income statement, that assortment of documents. So it's crucial to get to where we need to be. Thirdly, why is FTF important? Well, it provides the client some working capital because they might need some funds now to get their business in proper order. Maybe they don't have their website up yet. We don't sell websites, but maybe they don't have a website up. Well, we know that's a best practice. That adds credibility. Maybe they don't have a commercial address yet. This can provide the funding so they can do that. Maybe it's just for their normal operations. But regardless, working capital would be the third reason first tranche financing is important. And the fourth is kind of a dual benefit. It provides some funds so you can provide additional services to the client. So for example, getting a key person policy set up. You normally want clients to pay that policy in an annualized premium. So they pay a year up front. Well, if they're stone cold broke, how are they going to do that? But when we're providing them working capital, in this example, 30,000, yeah, they can afford to pay for that key person policy up front. We may look at their balance sheet. We've talked about this recently, and it's not the focus today, but if we need to add additional assets to their balance sheet to provide as collateral, you and I can do that, right? And with that, that has a cost associated with it. So the point is, when a client has funding, first tranche financing, it gets you paid, which is a good thing. You deserve to be paid. It also provides funding for the refundable deposit so we can build their loan package, and that's important to progress. It's the client working capital and also can provide funding for these incidental expenses that may be now. Case. Now we're going to go through the step-by-step process. Do any of you have any questions on what we've covered so far? Is anything not clear? Okay, let's keep moving on then. So this is a real client. His real name is Albert. He has a last name, but I'm not going to tell you his last name for client confidentiality. But this is a real client, and this is a real white label partner. This white label partner is on the Zoom right now. All right, so what is the process to take a client and get them their first tranche of financing? Now, I will caveat this with saying the amount of first tranche financing that each client gets will vary based upon their mitigating circumstances. So will all clients get 30,000? Of course not. Some could get more, some could get less. It'll be based upon their circumstances, but the process is the same. And I think for those of you that have maybe struggled a little bit to be able to help your prospects know the process to get them engaged, this will show you step by step the process. Okay, so rolling forward. So what is the very first thing that needs to happen? The white label client needs to be submitted. That is on the submission form on the IIMFL website. We've covered that. It's in the onboarding training, which is also on this page. I'm assuming we all know how to do this. If you're a white label partner and you submit a client any other way, it's broken. Your system's broken. It's not working. This is where white label clients are submitted. Now, we all know what happens before this, and I didn't purposely omit it, but just to clarify, your prospect signs an agreement with you. We've provided you the template to use. And then once they're contracted with you, then this is where the process starts from our perspective. And that's why it's bullet 1. Okay, then what happens? The plan is within 24 hours, and normally we're compliant with that, then 2 events are going to occur. There's going to be an email sent to you. In this case, it was sent to Bernard, the white label partner, to say, hey, yep, we received the client and they're set up in the system. We're moving forward. So that's good feedback for you because you know that now they're in process, because essentially you've submitted them, you've placed an order with us telling us to work on the client, and now we're working on the client for you. This is the feedback, so you're aware that we are in fact working on it. Almost instantaneously, within a couple minutes, then you will be copied on an Adobe packet that is sent to the client. So it's sent directly to the client. You're copied. It's sent in a white label format, which is fine. And it is the proposal application. We need to get them their first tranche of financing as soon as possible. That is only possible upon them completing this application. Now with Adobe, it's pretty sweet. It comes to them secure, reminds them each day. Once they complete it, it securely comes back to us, and you're copied on that completed application, so you're in the know. There are a few issues that can go wrong with those applications if it's not completed. I had a client yesterday that didn't list any income. Well, if we have no income listed, then that impacts some sources of capital, but we're not going to lecture you on proper application completion. We're just talking about right now the application. Two things happen once the client is submitted. You're notified via email directly from us, and the client's name is in there. It's mail merged in, so you know, yep, client's being processed. And then right after that, almost instantly, you're copied on an email sent from Adobe. That's the funding proposal application. So what do you need to do then? You probably need to reach out to that client and assertively encourage them to complete the application, because they're contracted with you. That was step 0 up here above before you submitted them. They've promised to participate. They've promised to work with us so we can help them get financing for the refundable deposit. If they don't fill out this application right here, then there is no funding to help them with the refundable deposit. They just need to pay it out of pocket, because there's no way that we can get financing offers. Now, with this application, let's be clear. Does it impact their credit? No, it's only a soft inquiry. Is it shotgunning them out where they get a bunch of loans that they didn't even know about? No, we are not committing them to anything. We're just simply getting them funding offers for the first tranche financing. So they're not committed to accepting funding based on filling out this step. It's not going to impact their credit, but we are going to get them funding offers, and it could be 30,000 or more, as we're talking about with Albert, this case study. So we've seen instances where the white label partner, so they're in the loop, they submit the client, which is awesome. They're getting notification, because that's our part, we do that, and then they stop. And I gave you an example of a real white label partner that submitted almost 40 deals, and we were auditing and realized, oh my goodness, none of these 40 deals have funded, none of them. And so then we contact the white label partner and say, are you contacting your clients after they get this? Are you supporting them? Are you encouraging them to make sure they understand this is part of the process? No. Well, my God, man, you got to get on the phone with them. I mean, he's sitting on $100,000 or more that he should have received already, but he's not engaged. So being a white label partner, we do a 50-50 revenue split, which is great. It didn't cost anything to enroll a white label partner, but you have to have yourself or someone on your team interfacing with the client to guide them through the process. If you don't want to do that, you can outsource it. You can hire an independent contractor, you can hire an employee, you can pay us to do it, but you can't just submit a client and then get out of the picture and expect it to go well. The client's not going to get the services they expect, and a lot of clients won't push through without some help, some navigation. But in this case, this white label partner is excellent at doing that. So guess what happened? The client filled out the application. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. The client didn't fill out the application correctly. We let the white label partner know. The white label partner talked to the client. We resubmitted the app. The client completed it properly the second time, and then this is the outcome. So it's okay if it doesn't go perfectly smooth, but if you as a white label partner are not engaged to help your client when they make a mistake or screw up or make an omission or aren't engaged, then you're sacrificing the client's success. You're probably sacrificing the client's satisfaction, and you're costing yourself money. Okay. So what happened is Albert did complete the application again, frankly, wrong the first time. He omitted his income the first time, but included the second time. And as I mentioned, the white label partner assisted him through that process. So without exaggeration, this is exact. The client received, Albert, real person, right? This is a real person. This is not a hypothetical. This is a real case study. He received 24 cash funding offers. He didn't get 1 or 2, 5 or 10, received 24 4 cash funding offers, and they were up to 30,000. So were all of them 30,000? No. Were some of them 30,000? Yep. Did he accept the 30,000? He did, and that's part of the success story. And you might say, well, this first tranche financing, I don't know, this doesn't sound too good. This is like a short-term loan. Well, the one he accepted is 60 months. You consider 5 years short-term? I wouldn't. And some pessimists say, well, the interest rates are too much in this first tranche financing. It's a scam. Well, he got approved as 9 or 9.9, I forget, but it's less than 10%. I mean, it's what the market offers. We had a different training on this. You and I are not responsible for how much the client receives. It's not based upon you. It's not based upon me. It's based upon them and their credibility. They've made all these decisions and been a victim maybe of all these circumstances since they became an adult, and they qualify for what they qualify. So the white label partner might have came back and said, well, Albert's a really credible guy. He should have gotten more than a 30,000 offer. Well, he didn't. And so he probably should accept the 30,000, which he did. And we'll talk about that in a moment. And then we'll build the loan package. We'll build his credibility. We'll build his fundability and get him more money. Of course, that's the plan. But the market is truth. And so when you submit a client in through this process, they will get offers that are consistent with what the lenders are willing to offer that person based upon their mitigating circumstances. Could be more than 30,000, could be less than 30,000. Interest rate might be more than 9%, might be lower than 9%, but it is what it is. They don't have to accept that funding, right? We've covered that, and we'll hit more on that in a moment. Okay, so in this case, Albert got less than 10% interest, 60-month term. So let's say that none of those 24 offers were attractive to Albert. He might have said, no, I wanted at least 35,000, or I don't want to pay more than 8%, or I wouldn't accept less than 72 months, whatever reason. Albert's the customer. If Albert said, no, I'll pass on all of those 24 funding offers, what would you as the white label partner say? Fine, Albert. You know, that's what the marketplace offered you. Obviously, we'll work with you going forward to improve your fundability, your credibility, and help you get more money at better rates. But you can either accept what's being made available to you, or Albert, I can just send you an invoice. And when I say I mean you, the white label partner, and just say, well, I'll invoice you for the $2,500 refundable deposit. You can pay for it out of pocket or however you want. We'll skip all these first tranche financing offers and we'll just get to work. Because you got to remember, the client's enrolled. That was step 0 up here. It's not listed. And then you submitted them, and then now we're going to work. If the client doesn't like the cash funding offers that over 30 different lenders are reviewing and issuing offers, the client does not have to accept it. They're not required to accept it. And we're not applying on their behalf. Let's clarify that. We're not pretending to be them. I've seen some of those shady deals, and we're not involved with that. We are not filling out applications pretending to be a client. We are not getting power of attorneys to act like them. None of that. So we're facilitating as technical advisors the client through the process. But if they don't want any of the funding offers, then that's fine. Then you just simply invoice them for the $2,500, and then they pay you out of pocket, or they go down to their local banker and get their own funding if that's what they want, if they think they can get something better than what these 30 banks are willing to offer them. Now, if they say, well, I just want out, I want to quit, you've got a problem, right? Because they've got a contract with you, you've got a contract with us, you've submitted them, that would be a different issue. But the key is, funding offers will come. Everyone will get a funding offer. It may be a cash funding offer, or it might just simply be the financing for the loan package, but everyone will get a funding offer. All right, so in this case, Albert, real client from a real white label partner, he did accept the $30,000, and it came from a well-known credit union. I'm not going to name drop. Sometimes you all will ask me, you know, was it Chase? Was it Wells Fargo? What credit union was it from? And so we're not going to disclose that, but he did receive $30,000. And so then what happens? And when we found out about this this morning. So that's why I used it as a case study. This is hot off the press. This is fresh. So then what did we do? We notified the white label partner, and then the white label partner is going to invoice the client. This white label partner typically charges $3,500 instead of $2,500. In other words, $3,500 instead of $2,500 for the deposit. That's up to you. Each of you can decide what the deposit is, but $3,500. And then this white label partner normally charges a 10% performance fee. So 10% of 30,000 is 3,000. So the white label partner invoices the client for 6,500. Now, if you follow our best practice, you use QuickBooks or something like that. So the invoice is created, it looks professional. It has links so the client can pay you. So just embedded in that, they can pay you via credit card or they can pay you by ACH. You normally would set up auto reminders. Normally you'd set up late fees, which should be referenced in the agreement, which would have been back here on step 0, that says, hey, if you don't pay the $6,500 in 2 business days, then there's daily late fees. And normally the recommended daily late fee is $50 a day. As we talked about yesterday, some people say, well, $50 a day late fee, that seems excessive. Well, I'm telling you, sometimes these clients are getting more, and I'm not talking about Albert individually, don't take that wrong, but when you're getting clients 20, 30, 50, 100, 250, 500,000, $800,000, if you don't invoice them and get paid soon, I've seen people have crazy ways of burning through cash. And so they owe it to you. And so it doesn't come out of the transaction from the lender. So you would invoice the client and then they would pay you. So in this case, the white label partner, off of one client's first tranche financing, generated $6,500 gross income. Now, again, this is not the only client that got funded yesterday from this white label partner. This is actually one of 2. Again, I know a lot of you are big hitters, you make big money, but I'm telling you, how much time did the white label partner have to spend at this? A couple hours maybe to get to the client to this point, and generating 6,500. What else can you do that's legal to generate thousands of dollars an hour on equivalent while helping people? I don't know how you can go make more money while helping people. So then what happens once that money is paid to the white label partner? Well, from the client, of course. Then we get after, right? We need to build out their loan package because the refundable deposit has been collected. Now it's time to do what we said that we would do. And so this is where either you as the white label partner do this, or you've delegated it to someone to do for you, which either way is fine. But these are the tasks, and they're outlined specifically on the white label page of IIMFL. But for the case of today's training, I'm summarizing. You'll plug them into the financial literacy modules. How many financial literacy modules are there? There are 4. How detailed do you have to work with your clients? Up to you. What have we provided you? Participant guides, instructor guides, and white label version training videos. Why is it important to improve financial literacy? So they understand what we're doing and where we're going. For example, in module 3, we teach about balance sheets and income statements and what they are and why they're important and what they look like and how to create them. Why is that important? Because the banker wants to see a balance sheet and income statement. People will come up with some lame-ass excuses. Well, my business is brand new, so that doesn't apply to me. No, you're showing your ignorance. You probably didn't watch module 3. A brand new business that formed yesterday should be able to produce an income statement and a balance sheet today. Now, there may not be much on it, but people just don't know what they don't know. So again, it's up to you how much involvement you want to have and how much you want to push for your clients to go through the modules, but they're specific, they're strategic, and there's award-winning curriculum that we're using. So that's sub-bullet 1. We're to get to work on their business plan and financial projections. We provide a cloud-based software at our cost. We spend so much money to help your clients get their loan package together, and you're not paying for it. They're not paying for it. We're paying for it. So why is a business plan important? Well, Your entrepreneur clients are so smart. They know everything about their business. They've probably thought through it from A to Z, from top to bottom, from left to right. But we've got to be able to convey that to the lender, so the lender has confidence in loaning them $100,000 or $200,000 or $1 million or whatever it is they want. So yeah, we need to have a business plan that tells the story. We also need to have financial projections to show how, by receiving that money, their business is going to grow, and we're going to be able to pay that money back. So that's part of what we're doing, isn't it? Also, we set up a Dropbox. A Dropbox is created, and that's where you're going to help them put the requested files in that we need for the loan package. And again, you can see the details on the white label page of the IIMFL website. Now, you're going to go ahead and get their key person policy set up. I see some of you on top of this, and some of you seem to be asleep at the wheel. Every client that enrolls, you should be setting up their key person policy. And we've got separate trainings for that. Again, it's parked up here, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. But that is part of the loan package, and that puts good money in your pocket. I saw one of you, I won't name you, so unless I misunderstood, the policy was a $30,000 cash advance policy. That was a good day, wasn't it? You know who you are. All right, so moving on. And then lastly, I guess we're at the end of the agenda here. Once they've submitted their balance sheet, if it's weak, if there's not much assets, if there's not collateral, then we can provide a solution. We, meaning you and I, we can provide a solution to clients that have weak collateral. And we had a training on that regarding the debt buyer concept, which we'll talk more about next week. But you and I can legally, ethically, morally, effectively provide them assets in the form of accounts receivable that goes on their balance sheet. So now they have something to pledge as collateral, because people, you could have someone with great credit and they still don't qualify for a business loan. Maybe because their loan package isn't created. Well, that's what you and I do. Maybe because their financial projections aren't created. That's what you and I create. Maybe because they don't have the collateral that they need. And collateral can be in the form of a key person policy, which protects the lenders in certain circumstances, as well as accounts receivable that serves as collateral for the requested loan amount. All right, so let me shrink this down. And what I'd really love to have are questions, comments, and feedback from you all, because you all are the feet on the street. You're out enrolling on average one client a day. Our typical white label partner should be enrolling one client a day, 30 a month. That is not get rich quick. And I understand this is a side gig for most of you. And of course, there's more money to come for the white label partner. As we raise the full 100,000, the performance fee amount goes up. This is just off the first tranche. But even if you just looked at the 6,500, if you did that 30 times a month, how much money would you make? There are some people out there working off of 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 a year. There's no reason you're not making that per month by helping people. All right, so let's get into your questions, comments, concerns. Okay, so Pete, good morning, Pete, is asking about the modules. I'll tell you, Pete, and everyone else, we've done our best job, and it may not be perfect, but we've done our best job to park everything on one site, iimfl.org, white label. This is where you'll find your training videos. This is where you'll find the links to the client white label module. This is where you'll find the instructor's guides, the participant guides, the submission form. So great question, Pete, but the answer is right here. And that's our goal, is to park everything on one page. Do you have to know a password to see it? No, we're completely transparent. Anyone can go onto that page and see these resources, including you, Pete. All right, so Devin asked, when do you provide the white label partner? So, okay, so I'm going to change the wording so it makes sense to everyone that's on the Zoom. So Devin's asking, when does Tom or our organization provide the white label partner of the 4 modules? They're there. They've been there. So Devin, right here, the 4 modules are there, as well as the submission form. He asked, when will the participant guides be provided? It's there. It's on that page. He asked when the instructor guide will be provided. It's there on the white label page. And so, you know, I've gone through school and we've all continued our education in one format or another, but this really should be viewed as a continued education opportunity for you each. And if you've not diligently gone through this white label page, watch the YouTube videos. And I don't mean passively watch them. I would watch them with control and focus. I'd have my notepad. I'd be taking notes. I'd be absorbing this. Why? Because there's not many opportunities. Because again, there's no cost to be a white label partner. You can literally make $100 grand a month by helping just one client a day. It's not get rich quick. It's not a scheme. It's not Ponzi. It's not MLM. It's not network marketing, but it's real money. And so it's not unrealistic to say, you know what? I need to spend some time and get familiar with these resources that are available. So the modules, the participant guides, instructor guides, the submission form, everything is right here. Right here. All right. And let's see. Request for the sheet. And we did. We emailed this sheet out to everyone this morning. We did an invite. We were so excited about this topic. We emailed you. We have almost 10,000 distribution partners. We sent out emails inviting you all to join us live today, and this was included. Okay, so who else has questions? Because we're at the halfway point of the month now. I know there's 31 days counting Halloween, but we're at the 15th. So we're halfway through. If each of you do not have at least 4 white label clients submitted, you're off track, because you made promises, right? When you enrolled, you said, hey, I'd like to be a white label partner, and I will commit to doing at least 8 deals a month. And so we're here to support you. So we're not like trying to hold your feet to the fire, but this is a self-assessment opportunity, right? We're halfway through the month, and if you don't have at least 4 new deals submitted in October, you're off track. You're failing. But it's okay. We have time to get caught up. We need to have 8 by the end of the month. If you're not on track, first thing I would do is I go dig in on this training. And if there's additional questions, then of course we can cover it one-on-one or in these sessions. But if you've not gone through the training, I think you're cheating yourself. So that's kind of to get a minimum grade. Now, secondly, if you want to get an excellent grade, you want to generate excellent adult income, then I would strive for the goal, simple goal. Let's help 1 client per day on average in a month. Let's help 30 clients this month. So if you're on that track, you look down at your records and say, have I enrolled 15 people so far in October, or 14th? This is the morning of the 15th. So say, have I enrolled 14 people already as of the morning of October 15th? And if not, let's figure out where the gaps are, because there's so much need, so much opportunity. And this is the real deal. All right, so Toussaint asked, good morning, Toussaint asked, what is the payment plan on the 30,000? Well, it's through a credit union, and it was 9% interest rate, as I said. It's a 60-month repayment term with monthly payments, and it's a term loan. I mean, there's no secrets. It's just normal financing. Thank you, Toussaint. All right, so Doug says, such a great walkthrough of a real life example. Thank you, Doug. This highlights so clearly how we can make an adult income even before each client obtains their full financing. And that's important. Yeah. Even if you just were building your personal budget off of the refundable deposits on the front end, you know, let's say that that's all that this client paid. Let's say that Albert got this deal or got this offer and said, hell no, I don't want that 30,000. So then what would Bernard have done, the white label partner? He'd say, oh, okay, Albert, I'll send you over $2,500 invoice via QuickBooks. You can pay that via credit card or ACH today. And Albert said, okay. So then Albert pays the $2,500. Even if that worst case scenario happened, if you just collected the $2,500s, ignore the $6,500 from this real life example, but let's do the math, and I should be able to do this in my head. Let's pull this up. If we had $2,500 that we collected, pull my calculator up here, $2,500 per client. And we did that 30 times in a month. That's $75,000 gross income in your pocket just off the refundable deposits. That's ignoring the fact that these folks will probably need a key person policy. That's ignoring the fact that many of them will have weak balance sheets and we could sell them AR to provide collateral. Ignoring all that add-on income. Again, I know, Toussaint, you're a big hitter. A lot of you folks are making a lot of money, but for a side gig, an extra $75,000 a month, come on now. Where else are you going to do that? I don't know. All right, so let's see. Then Doug also says, oh yeah, he's just complimenting us. So I thank you, Doug, for your kind words. Okay, and so we're not here looking for a pat on the back. What we're looking to do is to clarify. So our goals today were to make sure that each of you understood the step-by-step process to get this first tranche financing going. How much the person gets will vary based upon their credibility, not based upon your credibility, not based upon my credibility, based upon their credibility. But we know now that we have lending and financing sources that can get everyone approved for at least $2,500 so we can get this loan package up and going. More qualified people will get more money, but don't worry about how much they will get because we won't know until what? Until they've enrolled, until you submitted them. We'll get you the notification. We'll send out the application copying you. The client will complete that. They'll get at least one funding offer. Albert, in fact, got 24. Then the client decides, do I want to accept any of those offers or not? If they don't want to accept the offers, then you need to invoice them. They need to pay you directly out of pocket. And then we get started and we build the process. So who has a weakness? When you look at this, tell me what's wrong with this. Tell me if you want to call BS on some part of this, be transparent. Tell me right now how you would do it different. What would you do different to help clients have no money out of pocket, build a loan package, improve financial literacy, and be guaranteed $100,000 while putting adult money in your pocket? How would you do it differently? Because I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm sure you've got ideas that are better than ours, but this is what it's evolved to, and it's working well. We're getting clients funded. We're getting clients with improved financial literacy, and you all are making a great side gig income. And how much does it cost to become a white label partner? How much, when you enrolled, each of you, how much did it cost to be a white label partner? Zero. There's nothing paid up front. Now, certainly there's an agreement, there's promises made because we're providing services, but there's no cost to be a white label partner as long as you plug in and do what you promised to do. So does anyone have any other questions on Albert, on Bernard, on this process, why first tranche financing is important? All right, so Timothy, we'll close on this because Timothy asked a good question. What if the client doesn't want to mess with first tranche financing? And that is perfectly fine. And that's what we normally call our capital ready version. So you just upfront collect the $2,500 from the client. You can still make it refundable or not refundable. That's up to you. But that would certainly accelerate the process. And some of you do that. The clients just pay $2,500 up front. So then we don't have to do a first tranche financing. We don't have to go find the funding for the loan package. And that's perfectly fine. All right, well, hopefully this was helpful. Oh, we got one more question here, and then we will get going. So Peggy asked, well, and Peggy's got a great point. So I'm glad Peggy brought it up. Some people will come back to you and say, well, I don't want to borrow any money. I don't want to take on any debt. And it's like, wait a second, you just enrolled in the program to take on at least $100,000 of debt. That's the crux of borrowing money from banks or lenders or credit unions, is they expect to be paid back. So if you have someone that pushes back on wanting to pay back $30,000 or as little as $2,500, it's like a bizarro scenario, right? Well, wait a second. You came to me and you signed a contract that you want me to help you get at least $100,000 of debt. Here's the first round, and you're already waffling? That makes no sense. And usually they'll be like, oh, okay. So with that being said, let's go implement. We'll be back Monday morning. We're going to talk about a new press release that you can use for financial literacy. That'll be our topic on Monday. I hope you have a great day, great weekend. We're continuing to get caught up from a little bit of backlog from being out of the office Monday and Tuesday for our staff training in Tucson, but we'll be caught up fully by Monday. We're most of the way there now. Thank you for your involvement, and let's go hit it hard today and this weekend. Let's make this month count. Thanks. Have a good day.